What's up, everyone? It is time for another update from Pastor Scott. That's me. Want to give you some updates on what's happening, including on-campus services starting again. But I just want to start with saying what a season this has been. And God's done a lot of stuff in my life. I've been talking to lots of people in our church, made hundreds of phone calls, and just the incredible things our church is doing. I want to list out some of them. Our services continued online, a lot of work put in there by our tech and media teams, worship teams. Life groups have continued. People have jumped in. New people have joined our church and jumped right into life groups, which is just powerful because people are jumping right into the deep end, going and say, I want to be in this. I want to be part of this. I want to grow. It's been incredible. Our kids and youth have continued events. Those ministries are going strong. We've delivered, the count now is over 800 care packages through the whole time. We made a bunch of different deliveries to seniors, to youth, to kids, to help them through this time because this has been a major struggle and strain in terms of mental health, spiritual health. People have been diving into the devotions in a way. I talked to someone today who said they're doing devotions twice a day just to make it through, just because that's how so important it is. People have been giving above and beyond financially. Our church has been incredible in that. People either mailed in their checks or giving online. That's incredible. That's allowed us to continue doing ministry strong, to even prepare for on-campus services, which means we had to buy some more things like canopies and outside TV, all this other stuff. And it's allowed us to help people who are in need financially. And that's been a huge blessing. We've been able to help a bunch of different families. That's been incredible. And overall, we've already been in person for some of our life groups, many of our life groups, our kids ministry, our youth ministry. And now we're kind of like, hey, how do we get into this on-campus thing? Again, that's July 5th. I'm gonna give you more information on that in just one more minute. Here's this verse. Ephesians 3:17 says this: Christ will make his home in your hearts as you trust in him. Your roots will grow down into God's love and keep you strong. The roots are what holds you when the storm comes. Sometimes that wind's blowing so strong that it feels like the roots are being pulled up, and that's the time to dig those roots down and even deeper. And in this time of pandemic, it's been a time of like pressure and squeezing, and sometimes we feel like, hey, I was just under stress or pressure. That's not really who I am. But the fact is, when we're squeezed, what comes out was what was really in there. It's a chance to look inside. And for a lot of people in this pandemic, it's been about anger or anxiety or fear or checking where we're at in terms of prejudice or racism, or how am I actually doing in terms of, do I look to the news or Netflix or Jesus as my source of hope? And am I actually living that out in my rhythm? Am I digging my roots into him? And I found even in my own life, as I kept going into the word more and more and more, I felt more and more secure in him. And I'm just in a different spot with God. I have more confidence now. Even when we don't know what's going to happen in the next few months, I feel more excited about what God's doing in me and in our church than ever before. And I'm able to walk with people who are struggling. And I want to encourage you to don't miss this opportunity to look inside, to hear what God's trying to do in you through the ups and downs. It's a powerful time. As we go back, obviously in our world, we're not all the way back, and we're not all the way back where we were a few months ago. We need to learn to live in this kind of medium thing where we can say we're on campus, but we can't hug yet. And we're going to talk through those safety measures again in just a minute. Let me give you the details. July 5th, on-campus services resume. We'll have indoor and outdoor services. The service is going to be at 9 o'clock and 10:45. You need to reserve spots. So there'll be a link online a week in advance to be able to sign up. And you just kind of go there, and there'll be 50 spots indoor, 50 spots outdoor for each service. And I want you to know this: our church is not going to turn people away. We're not going to have bouncers at the door. There's room for everybody. We'll add a third service. We'll add a fourth service. Invite people. Make sure that you make it. Just know that there is room for you. Please try your best to sign up every week. That helps us a lot. Helps us get things ready. But we want people to show up. And if you're like, I'm not really sure, please come. I also want to emphasize in this season, you may be saying, I don't know if I'm comfortable going yet. That's fine. Maybe saying I'm not comfortable being inside. That's fine. Go to the level where you feel comfortable. Our job is to make sure we're helping you have the habit of worshiping Jesus every week. And we want to say, hey, there's on campus, there's online, there's in groups. You may be saying, hey, I'm going to worship Jesus with a group of people at my house. I've been doing that for the last few weeks. Do that as well. Find the way that you need to do that, and whatever way that is in the season, that's completely fine. It's completely valid. Just make sure you're keeping that habit, especially through the summer when a lot of people lose that habit. Don't let that happen to you. Okay, so outside, and the outside thing, we're gonna make sure there's a TV, there's gonna be a pastor there kind of hosting some of that. It's gonna be very, very cool. Indoor, obviously we'll have that, and we'll have distancing through it. Let me go through our safety measures. The first is, if you're sick, stay home, right? If you're at risk, make sure you're staying home. If you think, hey, maybe I've been exposed, stay home. That's really, really important. Families worship together. We'll have nursery care through 18 months, but all of our other kids, we're gonna have a little kids activity bucket, but they're gonna be worshiping together as a family. You don't have to distance from your family unless you really don't like your kids that day, but generally stay close to your family. And that leads to the next thing, physical distancing from everybody else. If they're not in your family, man, we wanna hug, and we need to be hugging people. But when we're at services on Sunday morning, that's not the place. We're gonna be able to do that in a few months. We're gonna be, or maybe not months, but maybe it's gonna be a while. But there's gonna come a day we're gonna be able to hug each other again, and we're never gonna lose that and forget that. And you need to be able to hug, but it's not gonna be on Sunday morning. Let's focus on what we have, not on what we don't have. So I want you just to keep that focus as we come back together. It's a chance to be together, be able to worship with other people, people who love the Lord. Focus on that. Stay far away. No touchy. If you know the movie, Emperor's New Groove with Cusco, no touchy, okay? Keep that distance, but make sure you're getting the hugs you need every single day. Keep that kind of circle of people in your life that you hug constantly because you need that, and people are struggling because they're not getting the appropriate healthy physical touch that they need every single day. So we can't do that in services, but find that circle of people where you can get that because your soul needs it. Okay, next is following the state order. Face masks are required indoors, so people need to wear those indoors. Of course, unless you're disabled or children under 2, there's a suffocation hazard there. But if you're indoors, you need that. Outdoors, it's optional, it's recommended, but if you can keep your physical distancing, then again, it's optional. Next thing is hand sanitizer cleaning. We're gonna have hand sanitizer everywhere. Make sure you're doing that. And we're going to be doing some additional cleaning. We've actually even modified some of the doors in our building. We'll have ushers opening the doors, stuff like that. And then the last thing is there's going to be no common items. And what we mean by that is things passed between people. So there's not going to be any pens. Welcome cards aren't going to be there. So we need everyone every week to be filling out their Connect card, even now, whether you're online, whether you're whether you're in service on campus, you got to be filling that out because that's how we know you're living out that habit's powerful. We are going to do coffee, and we're going to do communion when it comes up. We're going to do pre-packaged snacks, but they will all be handed in a single direction. Even if you need creamer, it will be handed to you in a single direction. You will take it, you can put it in your cup, and then we put it away. So it's the same people who have all the protection, everything going. And that's going to go in a single direction, so it's not stuff passed back and forth. And basically, essentially the same thing as if you go to fast food or you go to a grocery store, people are handing you food, you're just not handing things back and forth. So we're following that safety protocol and just making sure, hey, how do we continue to be our church? How do we continue to do that? There's not hugging, but we're not going to turn people away. We want to do that. Our mission has remained the same through this whole thing, to reach new people, to transform religious and irreligious people into fully devoted followers of Christ. We need to keep these habits. And I have to say to you, those who've kept their roots in Jesus, they are going strong in this pandemic. And there's a lot of us who are saying, hey, I really need to have on-campus services. That is now going to be an option for us. We're excited for it. If that's not the right thing for you in this season, that's totally fine. But for everyone, our mission has remained the same. It's not about services on Sunday. It's about getting people connected to Jesus, following Him, obeying Him, doing the hard work on the inside, and making a difference with their lives. It has been such an honor being your pastor in this season. I am so proud of our church. God's doing incredible things. And for those of you who are coming on July 5th, I can't wait to see you. And for everybody else, please fill out your Connect card so that we know you are participating and connecting. I love you guys. God bless you. And let's keep up the good work as we follow Jesus together.